Maria Garbancas with eXp Realty. I'm here with Francis Wright from the Allstate Insurance Company, and she is going to share with us what's occurring for her in her business and why it's a benefit for you to work with her. Take it away, Francis.
All right. So one of the questions you wanted to know, what circumstances caused me really to get into insurance anyway. I'm gonna just say this: I never, ever, ever thought of being an insurance agent as a kid, as a teenager, as an adult. I never thought that that was something that I would be doing, at all. And I think partly because a lot of people, they don't understand insurance. They don't really see, the real benefits and how prosperous you can become, as an insurance agency owner. But I started off working for Allstate in one of our corporate sectors back then in the older days before the internet. We had something called data processing. So all the applications and everybody, the applications had to be inputted through data processing. So that's how I started working at our operations department. You could just think about a big old paper factory, and you had to work long hours. I was there in the morning, probably at 7:30 in the morning, and you just couldn't leave at 5, or you didn't get to leave till maybe like 6 till everything was done. So I did have a child, and I had student loans, and I had a car note, and all these bills and stuff pressuring me. And I was approached by an agency manager, sales manager, and he was like, well, if you work this hard here, and if you just did this in sales, you would probably make a lot more money. And so um, he approached me, and it took me 2 years to make that transition. And the only reason I changed then was at that time I was making $24,000 more money than I have ever made in my life, and they were getting ready to give us a raise and pay us $30,000. And I said to myself, if I ever made $30,000, I would never leave. So I just went on and plunged, and I left because, like I said, that operations center was way out in the northern suburbs. I was up at 4:30 in the morning every day, had to get my child ready, take him to daycare before school, and then I would work, get off at 6. I would be so tired at night, and then I would just feed him, and then we go to bed and do the whole process all over again the next day. So there was not a lot of freedom at all in that position. So I changed, and it helped me. It benefited me because now, if he had like a school play, or if they went on a field trip, I would be able to go. And if I had to meet with clients, I would just take him right along with me. Just tell him to be quiet, don't say one word till we finish with this customer. Because back then there was no internet, and everybody that you wrote, you had to meet with them personally. And so that is what made me change. And then I did make more money. And then I love the part with insurance and sales, period. One way, all companies who have a sales department, they always put incentives out there. So one of the incentives that they would do would be these trips. So going to Cancun and going to the Bahamas, those are places that I never even thought about going to. And so I would start winning these little trips, and going there and being able to take my son and my family members. That was just such a delight and so different, and the trips were free. So I really benefit from that. uh, so that is how I made that transition. I would describe, once I got into the agency force though with Allstate. Allstate used to be owned by Sears, and they were Allstate became independent from Sears while I was an agent. And once they did that, then I had to open up my own agency, and so I had my own office for a few years. And I had a partner, and I changed. I always wanted to run my own agency, and they had a change in their contract. And the change in their contract was, now you you would no longer be an employee agent, but you would be more of a independent contractor. And what came with that was you would have the ability to even purchase other Allstate agencies. If someone retired or if they quit or even if they got terminated, you would be able to do that. So I was like, wow, that was, seemed like a really great opportunity. So I found fortune in that because there were several agencies I was able to acquire over the years. I think maybe 4 or 5 over the years. And one of the things I could say, every agency that I purchased, the person approached me, whether they were retiring or they were getting ready to be terminated. And and I think that says a lot. And I look back at it now about me because that means they trusted me a lot. Number one, to pay them their money. I had to pay them money, every month. Some people I did it in a year or two, but I had to be consistent with that. So they trusted me to pay them the money. And the other thing is they trusted me with their clients. So sometimes you don't know how people are looking at you if they feel like you're a very trustworthy person because you build relationships with these people and you want them to be treated fairly uh, and kindly. So I was grateful for that. So I've been able to do that since I've been an agency owner. And that really changed things for me. It took me to, of course, a whole nother level within Allstate, within income, and just my whole influence, what I was able to do. And it helped me in a lot of ways to help others, help other people, and also be more of an advisor. I was also, as like I'm on the regional advisory board, so I also advise regional vice presidents of things that are going on in the inner city, as far as insurance is concerned. Like I would give you one example is like gray stones. Some of those houses were built like in the 1800s. So we have to advise them and let them know, yeah, they were built in the 1800s, but these houses have been totally gutted, they're being rehabbed, so how will you guys come up with some type of reasonable premiums, for these. These are practically almost new houses. So those are some of the things that I may talk to them about. Also, if I see, a pricing structure for certain neighborhoods, they don't know the neighborhoods like I know them, but I can see a difference in the pricing structure. So I've been able to give them input on that maybe you got to break down some of the areas a little bit more, fine tune them and look at the results of the previous claim. So I give them input on that. And I would say too that, I'm an agent's agent. A lot of agents come to me, when they need advice, when they need encouragement. I'm someone that a lot of agents will seek out. I'm always trying to, if I find something that's working for me, I don't mind sharing it. I'm grateful too. Recently, one of my old staff members who worked for me about 8 or 9 years ago just opened her own agency. So, I'm proud. My legacy is moving forward. My son also is an Allstate agency owner. So I'm proud of that too. So some of the things that I would say what's the difference with my agency. I would say for years, 31 years, I've been an agent. 31 years I worked. My agency was open 6 days a week. And this year is the first year that I just started to close, but on Saturdays. So I think also like really knowing the clients and what they're like. I have a heart, for the clients, and I kind of even teach my team, hey, treat that client. Would you want somebody to say that to your grandmother? That lady is your grandmother's age. Okay, treat her like you want your grandmother to be treated. Would you want somebody to treat your dad that way? Okay, treat that person the way you would want your dad to be treated. So I've had clients that will come to me and they want me to fill out different applications for them or read over things for them. And so I think trust is really a big thing, especially dealing with insurance. I try to really push being as professional as I can be, in our agency, and teaching the team that too, because if they treat each other with respect, treat customers with respect, and have that attitude, a winning attitude too, that they could go a long way in life, whether you stay here with me or move on someplace else. I'm just hoping that you will learn, those kind of things. So what do I appreciate, about Allstate? Oh, so many things. Allstate has changed my whole life. Um, winning the trips has been one. Being able to put my son through school, you know, uh, hire so many people, helping people get ahead in so many ways with learning, the insurance industry. They've helped me too. The fact that I will be able to sell my agency one day or pass it on. It would still be a sale either way, but pass it on to someone else. That's been really great. And I would say if someone were to ask me for advice, I would say think of those things that your grandmother taught you when you were a kid. Maybe she would say, okay, now say thank you, Mr. Jones. Say please, you know, don't have too much pride when it comes to being nice and kind and thoughtful, of others. And also have a really good work ethic. I've heard somebody say some people want, you want make $100,000, but you got a minimum wage work ethic. They're not just passing out $100,000 checks. So it does take a certain work ethic, to get that. So you have to remember that. And also be a constant learner. I got my bachelor's degree. I didn't go back to school after that, but I am a constant learner. I'm always involved in some leadership program, or just learning something about how to make my agency better, how to make my life better. I would also say too, get up earlier. There's nothing wrong with getting up at 5 in the morning. That's something that I've changed and I've had to do. And I would say, make out a list to me of things that you have to do. You could be brainstorming in the morning, doing your prayers. You could watch a motivational speaker. Of course, add exercise into your life. That gives you a lot of energy that you otherwise are not going to have. And I would just say, just really work at being your best. Try to be the best. I always say this to my team: you got to get up and we got to come in here and we got to work anyway. Why come to work and not do your best at work? Do your best at work, and then when you go home, relax. And I tell them, the ones that have kids and they demand that their kids get A's and B's, and I say, okay, if you ain't getting an A and B here at the office or hitting your goals here at the office, then I'm gonna go call every last one of y'all kids and I'm gonna give them your report card. Okay? I could tell my son to put forth his best because I know I'm putting forth my best every day. Okay? So I would wrap that out round with a referral. My referral would be, of course, anybody, I always say this, that has a stove, a refrigerator, a kitchen, a bathroom, a bedroom, whether it's they own a home, they rent, they have a condo, they may have some other properties on the side. Those would be great referrals for me. Of course, anybody that has cars, that are car insurance owners, send those to me. And we also sell life insurance. Right now with the coronavirus, I've seen several people pass and they don't have any coverage. And then I've had clients who now have the virus and we can't offer them the coverage right now. So I think it's important when you think about leaving a legacy behind, when you think about building some wealth, in your family that could last for years and years, or even giving back to some institutions that could be very helpful in our society today. So that's it. That's all I would say. Thanks,
I
Vivian.
love that, Francis. Thank you so much for your story. And remember, when you're purchasing a home, driving a vehicle, or need to protect your family with life insurance, Francis Wright at Allstate, she's your girl.
Yes, thank you.